Well, what's real will be talked about.
Yeah.
Yo,
Yeah. What up? And welcome to this episode of Crucial Convos. I am your girl, F.l.o.r.
And this is Emery.
What's up, bro?
What up, though?
Man, listen. This has been a trying week, okay?
Has it been?
Yeah. We had to put Puppy Dog down, so y'all won't hear Puppy Dog bark no more.
You want me to put him down? Put him down? Oh, no.
Yeah, we found out he had cancer.
Well, that is still weird to me that dogs get the real stuff.
Yeah, what made it even weirder is she was like expressing and explaining to us, what's gonna take place when she administered the medicine. And bro, it was like same things that humans go through. Like the same thing a doctor would tell you about a human. I was like, yo, I can't be in here for that.
Dang.
I don't want
Did
no
you
parts
cry?
of that. Oh my God. Oh my God. I had him for
Did
7
everybody
years.
cry?
All of
Right,
us.
I could imagine though.
All of us.
See, I don't have pets, so I got a snake. When that young thing dies, I'm not gonna care. You know what I'm saying? But it's because you don't get to love on it, and you know what I'm saying, all the stuff that y'all do.
Like we was able to train him, and so he knew how to shake, he knew how to give you kisses, he knew how to lay down, he knew how to do all that. My granddaughter grew up with him for the first year and a half of her life. You feel what I'm saying? And it's awkward because I'm used to him just being here. Like my husband and my kids ain't got to be here, but when he was here, I felt like I had company or whatever. You feel me? So it's just awkward to just not have to feed him, or it's just quiet. Like the shit that I wanted. Like I ain't really know that but yeah, all our face was soggy as shit, yo. It's crazy.
Dang.
She was like, he'll be ready in 14 business days, bitch.
Ready for what?
His ashes.
It takes that long?
Apparently.
Really?
I was like, well, call me when it's done.
Dang, that means you gotta restart the whole process again? Like
I mean, in a sense.
14 days is a long time.
To separate yourself,
Yeah, that's long. Jeez,
and then they give you all this other stuff, and it's like they do paw prints and nose prints, and they do a whole lot. Hey, Paris. They do a whole lot, but I don't know. I'm getting through it the best way that I can. It shouldn't be. I'm hoping it ain't that bad because we got to pick them up, pay for it. So
yeah, that's a lot, man. I really feel bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Like just for the passing of the dog, I'm sorry to hear that.
I saw your facial expression. I appreciate you.
It's real.
I know because
I don't have no dogs.
Y'all heard him week.
What? We do. Yeah, every single week. We need to do the little cat thing. Bum, bum, bum. Let me play it for you.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little memorial for my buddy.
Yeah, okay. Again, I'm sorry to hear that.
I appreciate
sure
you.
Bounce back and everything will be cool.
Eric said he ain't no more.
No more dogs, huh?
He said he can't take it. It's too much.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not. Yeah, yeah. I can imagine because I've never had a pet like that. But I've been around for. I've seen some dogs. One not too long ago, actually, I seen a dog, big old cane corso. It was I was sitting on the couch, and the dog just came over to me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, whatever. So I was petting the dog, still talking. And I stopped, and the dog like, nigga,
Mm-hmm.
we ain't done.
Mm-hmm.
I've only seen it on movies because I've never had a dog.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So noticing that was like, I could see how people be kind of toe up about, they
100.
animals. That's
We
what's
would.
up.
He would always like wherever, even his last minutes when I got up and left out the room, he got up to follow me.
Dang.
That's the part that killed me because it's like I
Oh, I
hope
can
he not mad at me. You feel me?
you in there?
Because I leave and then like it's over. The boy stayed in there with him, but it was like getting him at 6 weeks, having him all his life, and then seeing him. I couldn't bear that. Like so for the people who only have their dogs, you feel what I'm
Or
saying? Like I could.
cats, cat lady people.
Oh my god! Like I can only imagine. Like it's. Oh my god! Like, and I think I used to talk about people that's going through what I'm going through. Real
Ah,
talk. I used to. Now I'm going through it, so it's like, ugh. Oh well.
yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah. What's up, Kenya? Hey.
Kenya, hey Paris. She said you ready for the night, huh?
You already know it. You know it. So tonight we decided
Uh-huh.
to extend an invitation.
Uh-huh. Uh-oh. Where did it go? It's empty.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, again. There we go.
Okay, okay.
That was weird.
To extend the invitation to a special guest of ours. How
Absolutely.
how long you known Tay?
I don't know. Like, I don't even know. I don't know when we met, and I don't know. It's been forever. It's been like since I was little.
I known Tay over 20 years.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've been out of school for 20, so
It's
22.
been
So it's been 25,
ugh,
30. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If you think about it.
it's been a good 30 plus years. Mm.
Y'all old. I ain't there yet. I ain't old as y'all.
Anyway, so tonight topic is stepdaddy season.
Stepdaddy season. What you know about it?
Stepdaddy season.
What
And
you know about it?
listen, I didn't walk through the trenches. I sometimes feel like I'm still going through them. But my kid's grown now, so
Yeah, you
it's
got
it's
a
the
little different.
yeah, it's a different level now. But we'll get into that. Get into that. So do we bring our guest on, sir?
Yeah, it's time. Let's bring him on.
Without further ado, let's welcome Danny Tay Jennings to the show.
A round of applause.
Woo.
I was trying not
Right.
to age us, but Emery was like, whatever, like it is what it is. But I've known you for over 30 years.
That's crazy. I mean, it really has been about 30 because the way I'm looking at it is I'm 46 and I definitely was a teenager when we met.
When we met.
So
That's
it's
the 90s.
yeah,
And the 90s was 30 years ago.
yeah, there it is,
How
Kamisha.
crazy it is can you to say that the 90s was 30 years ago?
That's wild, man.
That
My
is crazy.
30 high school reunion is in like 3 years.
Man.
My 25th. Yeah, yeah.
My
Yeah,
20th was a couple years ago. Yeah, man. I feel you. I feel you. It's just what it is.
Oh, that's crazy.
it's rare though. It's rare that you're able to connect in
Mm-hmm.
this type of environment with people you've been knowing for this length of time.
I know, right?
Most of the people, well, I won't say most, but a lot of people just either didn't make it or aren't functioning at a level that they can even do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Man,
So, so
wow, that's a big statement.
I look at the fortunate side of it, and I'm grateful that y'all brought me on board.
For
Absolutely.
sure. Grateful you accept it.
Right.
A lot of people don't like diving into situations or subjects or to have this type of conversation. A lot of people feel that it's not important. You know what I'm saying? But the part that's
Or
crazy
nobody
is
ain't nobody else business,
Huh?
or ain't nobody else business.
Okay.
That's
Like
always thrown.
I'm only coming from that perspective because a lot of times it's hard for us to dive into topics like this because you don't want to
Expose yourself.
expose yourself or expose somebody else. You know, because talking about these subjects means you have to kind of drag other people in it for it to all make sense.
Have to. Yep.
Which is why I always tell them to come and lay your own burdens down. You can't give the excuse that somebody else telling your story. You can tell your own story in crucial convos. You know what I'm saying? But they want to live that life. Like they want a man there. You feel what I'm saying? But say that it's no one's business. Like
Mm.
it's an oxymoron to me.
Yeah.
You know. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Well, shoot, golly, this can get so. Let me figure out how I'm gonna condense this. You know, I'm a Ben Harbor lifer. I've ventured off a couple times for education and professional opportunities, but I always make my way back home. And you know, currently an educator. I teach at Ben Harbor High School, and I'm also in pursuit of administrative opportunities. So, if y'all know good people in high places, shout me out.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
So I'm married. I have 8 biological children. I have 2 stepchildren, which we call bonus children. Um, I have a son in Texas who has a stepfather as well. You know, so I think I may be well versed in terms of experience when we talk about this particular topic. So I was very very intrigued when I talked to Misha regarding being on tonight.
That's what's up.
And I don't really know, well, as we all know, it had to have come from God because I know a little bit about Tay Tay, but don't know, his life in that regard. But because he broadcast his fathering, it allows individuals, I'm gonna speak for me, it allows me to see the versatility that he shows and how hard he works to be there for each one of his children as much as he can. And when you're a man father that works and have children in different homes, for him to pull them together despite of the dysfunction he may go through during whatever time, it's just commendable. You feel what I'm saying? Because a lot of people just say fuck it
Mm.
on the real.
They do.
And I'm speaking from experience. A lot of them just, chuck the deuces and keep it moving. So I just felt like, all right, I feel like he's the proper person to go to. So again, I appreciate you accepting.
Yeah, not a problem. It's funny. I just had a recent conversation like 2 weeks ago with a friend of mine that particularly on the topic that you just mentioned when people are just show up to do sometimes. And you know, she was, I they'll remain nameless, but she was just talking about her son and saying that he needed to just leave it alone because it was too much trouble dealing with the mom, and I was against that. I was like, no, you can't, because you don't get them years back. You don't get that time back. You don't know what kind of conversation you'll have with the kid by the time this kid 10, 12, 14, 18, and you decide now you go show back up. Who
Yeah.
Now who are you counting on? Well, I mean, what are you expecting if this kid decided you can get the hell on now? You've been
Right.
gone long. I don't want no parts of you.
And they're going to say that.
So you can't make a decision. I mean, now if your life is in danger, and I don't know, I can't come up with a good enough reason because there's policies and structures in place that does give us some type of leverage.
Yeah.
So yeah, so legally, I just can't imagine not trying to be there for my kid.
That's an amazing. It's hard because you don't share the sentiments of a lot of other black men. There are lots of them that's like she too much to deal with, so oh well. But to be able to have that mindset in a day and age where it's okay to be like I'm done. Well, not okay, but it's accepted. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? That makes you stand out even more especially to have the amount of kids that you have and still like not ashamed and sticking, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna stick beside him. Leave mine, I'm gonna stick beside him. That type of thing is not just it's not a normal it's not normal enough. I'll say it that way. So that's just very commendable for real. From the outside looking in, seeing how you get down. It's amazing.
I appreciate that.
Absolutely. So how I was coming through with the whole stepdaddy season, I saw the video that Brittany Renner. Do y'all know her? Fine little itty bitty little light skinned thing.
I don't think I know her. Brittany who?
Renner.
I don't know. I'm not familiar.
She just got this one little young NBA player to give her a baby. She getting $200,000 a month. She played him like pretty much, you know what I'm saying? Like, so she's like she's a social media influencer, you know. Started off just as a Instagram model type of thing, and then she actually talks pretty well. You know what I'm saying? She kind of expresses herself really, really well. She's still just okay. Then you know she got that going on. She just a little loose with it, which is everybody got their thing, so it's not that big a deal. But it is a big deal when you apparently are trying to trap people, then you dump him, and now you want to proclaim is stepdaddy season. Like I'm looking for somebody to help me raise the kid. The kid is the daddy is apparently begging to see the son, and she won't let him. But that's I've seen that, and then I've seen some of the the internet's undefeated when it comes to comments, just period. But I was like, and it's hard to shock me. I was kind of shocked by the responses. Most of the women was like, "Yeah, F the baby daddy, get you somebody who want these kids," like as if a lot of men don't want that. Like they're searching for that, but that's not a man's first. That's not top on his list to find somebody with somebody else's kids to raise. You know what I'm saying? So for it to be glorified, that's why I wanted to bring it up to see everybody's thoughts, because it has to happen, right? Everybody doesn't stay with who you have kids with, and then if you have multiple people, it's literally impossible unless you're gonna be one of the Mormons, I guess. Your baby mamas ain't gonna get along enough for that, so just leave it alone.
That's another topic in itself.
Facts, a whole one. Now, we ain't had it yet. We got to build up to that one though. I think that's gonna hit deep. We'd like to have a couple weeks on that one. But yeah, just the whole mindset behind, taking care of someone else's child. In an era where the woman won't let the man discipline the child, but you want me to, bankroll him. And that's the honest way to put it. I know it sucks to hear that from people, but you know what I'm saying? Especially if he ain't around. Especially if the daddy ain't around. So it's like you want all this. It's just so one-sided.
So I was the female that had the husband there that I didn't want him to discipline. And then I didn't realize until it was too late that I've completely messed up. Like the respect level or, the things that they would do, I would always protect. I would always coddle. I would always, step in the middle of. So then when it became too much for me and he would look at me and be like,
"Yeah, you told me keep my hands off.
All you had to do was let me do it. All you had to do was let me handle it." So now that they're older, never did I ever get disrespected. It was just the fact that he wouldn't like the tone that they would use, or he wouldn't like the certain things that they would say or whatever. So now they grown now. So I don't think I fixed it, but I fixed it, if that makes sense. Like I moved out of the way for him to implement his style. So that's what I mean by fixing it, because I just stepped back, and when they would come to me and be like, "Mom, well, daddy said," and I'd be like, "Well, you gotta talk to daddy." Like, and even though it may have been too late, I can't even say it was too late, because it's still, you know what I'm saying, a sense of respect that they give.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, at some point, either way, it's like whenever you decide that I need to do something different is the best time to do something different. So regardless of how late it is, fortunately, you saw where you may have been falling short and you did what you needed to do to try to rectify it.
Yeah. Paris says getting used to a man disciplining your child is tough. That is very true. I would like to argue that y'all don't think about that, or that's not in the healing process before you get a new guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think you guys, enough of you all, you focus on that. Like, add that into your process of, am I ready to date again? You know what I'm saying? Because it needs to be, because it just has to happen. If you want a man, a man is gonna, like oversaturate. Like men, other species kill the kids of other men or of other males.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, to get that out the way, I need this to be mine. I don't want nobody else. I want mine.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for us as humans to be able to do it, and not, clearly we're not killing the kids, but
I
to be
mean,
able to
some do.
yeah, I don't think. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
Some do.
very unfortunate. I hate. Yeah, you're right. But for that to be happening, we really that needs to be a part of the healing process.
Right.
And I'm afraid that that's not the norm for women.
I think it's harder to see a man discipline your daughter than it is your son, for me. I really. You say why?
No. I'm just
I'm
thinking
just listening to this.
when we're talking about the discipline. I'm not sure if I'm listening to we're talking about physically or we're talking about
All of it.
All.
Just all of the above.
Yeah.
All.
I got you. All right.
Because I feel like some men don't really know their tone or their aggression or facial expressions, when they're frustrated. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the way that things come off. So, but for a boy, I think sometimes the aggression is good. You feel what I'm saying? For them to know, like, I'm not playing. Is it levels? Of course. But I think it's easier to relinquish that power of discipline for my sons than it was for my daughter. And still to this day, to be perfectly honest with you, she's 21 years old. Her dad is still, but they're both Leos. Like, literally, they're both the same person. She's just female and he's male. So I realized that as she got older, just as much as he hate her sarcasm, he delivers the sarcasm. So I just bring it to his attention, like, yo, that's you. Like, sorry, but that's how it is dealing with you. So
yeah. So so on the flip side of that, when as a man going into a circumstance such as this, I don't care what I think about the woman, how I feel about the woman, and how she treats me. If I know that there are barriers regarding how she's going to allow me to be involved in the lives of the kids, then that's a red flag. Because I can't function in an environment where I'm limited or I have these these barriers that are going to stop me from going as far or as deep as I need to go to have the impact that I need to have. So that because that means what may grow up in this house could potentially be something that's going to rip this house apart if I don't have any say so in the upbringing. Because what I can't do is sit back and say,
Let it happen.
I can say, well, them her kids, I'm gonna let her list.
Nah, I can't do that.
No, I can't do that. No, I'm not jacking anybody up like, So right here in my current situation, it's two boys. She has an 18-year-old that we just dropped off to college a couple days ago, and she has a 9-year-old here. And I'm saying she, but it's we because they're in this house, they're in this home, and I'm the father of this home. And I had to make sure that they understood that going in. Like I know, and both of them have involved dads.
mm-hmm.
So I have to respect their what do I want to call it? Their presence and their involvement in the whole ordeal. Like I don't cross any lines, or at least I try not to. But if I need to get in somebody's face and make sure they understand that I mean business, then I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if I got to deal with a dad regarding something like that, then we got to deal with each other.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it does a disservice because I think in a lot of cases, what kind of typically happens is the woman and the baby daddy, they'll break up, right? So now she's operating under her own rule, under her own vision, her own whatever, how she disciplines, that kid. And so, and if it's been any length of time over like a year or two of her doing that by herself, now she's like those Asian moms, like the overprotective, like you're not coming, like this is mine, mine, mine. You know what I'm saying? And so our styles, number one, of discipline are just completely different from men to women.
Mm-hmm.
They're not the same. The purposes aren't the same, and they won't make sense to the woman. Just like hers don't always make sense to us. Like how she gets down. So, like for F.l.o.r, you had said earlier it was easier for you to accept how he was about your son versus your daughter. I know a lot of women that are the opposite because they coddle those boys.
Mm.
They really treat them like they're their little boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And
That's
they actually,
disgusting.
and nobody that I've seen do, no woman that I've seen do that knows that they do it. They actually think they're not doing it,
Mm-hmm.
but they're doing it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you're ruining this boy. You don't even see it because it's like you want them to be little men of the houses, but you still won't want to mommy them, like beat them over the head with the I'm mama though.
Mm-hmm.
When the man of the house is the beater of the heads, if there is one. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, but you're doing it, so you do that, and then you get a guy in there who's like, "Yo, I'm daddy.
Mm-hmm.
How we doing it?" And now again, you don't want to just overexert, but you need to show who's in charge. You know what I'm saying? And then that's usually a push for that woman to receive anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Let alone you doing it to the kids, and the kids complain to you, and you, mama, he did this, and you are my son. So much can come out of that because we don't understand. Like, there's a bunch of stuff that men can see that needs to be corrected.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if we're choosing you long term, we coming in with that mindset, like, man, okay, what's the best route to get us back on track? You know what I'm saying? And it's so much harder when the mom fights the new stepdad or whatever from trying to help out in that way.
Yeah, no, so just talking about my situation still, Kiana and I had the discussions, and I got a chance to see how she operated. We dated off and on for like 2 years before probably off and on for like 3 years before we actually decided to go ahead and mesh and make this thing work. So I got a chance to get a feel for how she was as a disciplinarian and how she was going to receive me as a disciplinarian. Because once again, if I think that you are, like you were just talking about him, a coddler, and you're basically kind of almost mishandling these boys,
Yeah.
that's scary for me. So I don't think, I don't know if you're going to, for one, give me the jurisdiction to assist you. And then for two, if that's not the case, or even if that is the case, but they still getting coddled on this side, then it's still going to be a jacked up environment for me to be in.
Mm.
But I can't, because that's making it hard on this man who's allegedly the head of this home, who might be the person who they're supposed to call daddy or treat like daddy or function as if he's the captain of this ship. But you got little sissies. Let's just call it what it is.
Mm-hmm.
You got little crybabies, and you got little mama's boys. And so again, back to my situation. Micah, mama's boy, the one who just graduated, I told him that, listen, this conversation me and him had on the way to Louisiana on Friday night. I said, look, I told him about all the good stuff so he can receive the bad.
Mm-hmm.
I told him all the good stuff though, because he's an excellent student. He's a great athlete. He has ambition. He's a lot further along at 18 years old than I was when I was 18 years old. And I made sure I shared that with him. But I also said, dude, you're a mama's boy, man. You don't like nobody telling you anything as far as when you're wrong or when you need to be corrected. You think you're supposed to retaliate when somebody do stuff like that. You get disrespectful sometimes. You've done it at your job. You've done it at the school. You've done it on the field. I've seen it. And I have to talk to you about it right now because we're about to leave you 1,000 miles away from us. And this ain't how you're going to be able to handle that. Everybody ain't your mama who's going to wrap her arms around you when you're feeling down and lonely or mad and upset. Some people are going to look you in your face and tell you some stuff you might not want to hear. You're going to have to receive it. Yeah, you're going to have to receive it. No different than how it's happened with him and I. You know, we've had some clashes, nothing heavy though, nothing where I felt like this was a red flag because she has backed me. Even though she may be a little coddling, she's never tried to step between me and disciplining either one of her boys.
That's priceless. That is priceless.
Maybe it has something to do with their fathers being involved.
Possibly.
So she knew how that dynamic worked. Just like Paris said in the chat, the little girls don't realize that men don't realize little girls have never been around them. So the voice and the tone is an adjustment. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a little different in my opinion. My husband was around, well, I think my son was 1. You know, my daughter was 8 months. So he's been around all of their life. You feel what I'm saying? But he wasn't mature enough either in the beginning. And I think I recognized that. So it was a lot that I felt I had to protect him from, if that makes sense.
Well, what makes, now we're talking about, once again, grown children, right?
They are now, yeah.
Now, yeah.
At this point. So there's nothing that we can you can go back and change or fix. But in my mind's eye, it would be, if I don't think she's mature enough, we don't need to be doing this anyway.
Thanks.
Right, but I wasn't mature enough either.
There you go.
So when we both grew, of course, I felt like I started growing before him to notice the things that were going crazy, but I couldn't just be like, all right, I'm done, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? We had been married, I don't know, 5, 8 years or whatever. So it just took some time for me to recognize and for me to bring it to his attention. And once I brought it to his attention, he started seeing things a little different and acting, responding a little different, you know. So, but you're absolutely right. Um, if an individual know that they're at that point of maturity, no, that's a waste of time. And like, that's a complete waste of time to what's the word? Grow someone into what you need them to be.
Yeah, no, we're not in the business of raising no adults.
I can't do it. It's
Pointless.
too much work.
So, Tay, tell me I'm sure you've dealt with this. Has anyone, well, I would hope you have, I'm sure you have. Have you ever been approached by another baby mom's new man about him, you know, like, hey, I'm going to be around. I wanted to talk to you type of thing about, you know, because I'm going to be around your kids. Have you ever had that?
I've never had it in that fashion.
Oh.
I've never had it in that regard.
Okay.
So for instance, like Misha was just talking about, so my son that lives in Houston moved when he was 1. Something that, you know, we talk about this. He's currently 19 now, about to enter his sophomore year in college. So that's how long of a stretch this has been. And his stepdad and I are real cool at this point. But we didn't talk. It didn't initiate from that type of conversation. It was more my son's mother still connected to my grandmother who raised me. My grandmother and grandfather raised me. So they talk all the time. So it was often that she may call, or my grandmother may say, hey, give her a call so I can talk to her, or something like that. And then me and dude will end up on the phone here and there sometimes. It'll just be, he's telling me about how your son cutting up or how your son doing and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, when I'm in my immature stage, like you were just talking about, Misha, I don't want to hear nothing about my son from no other man right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, dude, you can't be. I don't really want to talk to you. I ain't telling him any of this stuff because
Right.
I ain't that far into the immaturity, but I'm still immature because I can't accept that this woman that moved on and then got married and got this other man in the house raising my son. But over time, I was able to receive that. Like, I'm glad that there was somebody there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad there's somebody there who can tell me something about my son. I'm glad there's somebody there that care enough to even discuss it with me. So
That's maturity.
yeah, so it
That's
took a
100%
minute.
maturity.
Yeah, it took a minute to get there, but the conversation didn't start with him reaching out. It just started with him doing that. But then over time, I got accustomed to it and knowing that that's the style. That's how he function. It ain't more him doing nothing malicious. It ain't him doing nothing disrespectful. It ain't him being, too proud to come to me like that. It's more him just feeling like, this is the way I'm gonna operate and I'm gonna function with this dude. I'm gonna communicate with him. Man, that dude now, when I go to Texas, man, I might not even see my son the day that I get there. I might hang out with his stepdaddy still though, and sit at the bar, toss a couple back and chop it up. And then I done slept in their house and all kind of mess, man. Dog. Like, you ain't gotta get no room tonight, dog. You can stay over there. So
Okay.
yeah, man.
Yeah. I was dating a girl, this was a little while ago. She had a little daughter, and the daughter's dad was a guy who I'm cool with. So I was like, if me and you pick up, if we start to get serious, I want to talk to him.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, what do you want? Like, this isn't got nothing to do with you. This number one, this is respect. Like, number one, I know him. You know what I'm saying? Number two, and his daughters don't love me. You know what I'm saying? And I want to see what that vibe is gonna be because I ain't no pervert.
Yeah.
She has a daughter. It's different. Like boys, it's not as you don't have to be as mindful like that.
No question.
But girls, she was a little girl, so it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just want to make sure that he knows I don't have any ill intentions. If me and old girl work out or not, I just want to, talk to him. I gave him a call, chopped it up for a few minutes, and he was very understanding. He was like, you know what, man? He's like, I see how you raise your kids. Like I've always admired that, that aspect of how you get down. I have no problems at all with you, being around my baby. I have no problem with her, coming around you because I know she's gonna love you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, that made my day. Look like it made our process easier.
Easier to get through.
Does, man. And so let me tell you that Misha, it looked like you might want to chime in.
Yeah. So Shay said 24 years later, and my ex-husband still can't accept the fact that he's not in my life. So he opted out for a fair weather relationship with our son. So it's crazy because, right, my daughter's 21 and she's never had, let's just say this, my baby's never laid her eyes on bio. I'm respectful, okay?
Rose, look at God.
He ain't done with
Look
me
at
yet.
it.
He's still working. My husband has been in my daughter's life since she was 8 months old, as I said prior. He adopted her when she was 9. I think for me, like when y'all was saying, because I was gonna ask, like, is there a code, and that's what I was gonna say. Like, why wouldn't a guy stand up and say, "I appreciate what you've done"? You feel what I'm saying? Like, why would you opt out of being in your child's life because you just like what is it? Like, I need y'all to let us women know, because we like I'm 22 years in. I want to know.
So it's weird, because there's a couple things couple places I want to go with the conversation based off what you were just saying. Remind me of the second thing when we get to it. That was what you just finished with. with how wouldn't we want to be a part of it. The point, rambling a little bit, I mess around and forget the next point. So first thing, Kiana has 2 boys that I've mentioned, and they have different fathers. I have 2 completely different relationships with the 2 men. Case in point, we dropped Mike off Saturday at college. Sunday, I'm on the phone with his dad. His dad is telling me how he appreciate me, and I'm telling him that, dog, we teammates. So, this is a joint effort to get the best out of this child, and you don't ever have to worry about what my intentions are, and you don't have to worry about, how he and I communicate regarding you, because I ain't have to tell him this stuff, but I've never said one word to Mike about his father. Now, if Mike approached me and wanted to discuss something, I will be as candid as I can with him, and as honest, and also respectful of the fact that that is his father, and his father is in his life. So we never had a problem. Let me see, 2017 is when I first started dating Kiana. About 2018 is when I met her kids and stuff. So we ain't had a problem 4 years. Her other son, I've been in a fight with his father in my 40s.
Damn. Did the back hurt after? That's the first question I need to ask. Because I almost got into a fight. I said, did your back hurt afterwards?
Nah.
Okay. Clear.
Nah.
Well, you still run up and down the court every day too.
Yeah.
I was worried about that a couple weeks ago. I'm like, man, I'm gonna hit this nigga in his mouth, but my back, I gotta get a back.
So you know what you just did, you tempted me to tell the story of how it happened, but I ain't gonna do that.
Well, listen, we can talk offline. I just want to know the details at this point.
Yeah, I
ain't like, wait though.
I can tell now. Now I can tell what happened. I can tell.
A fist fight, a whole blown fist fight.
Well, one pair.
Okay, I got you. Ben Harbor. I got you.
I can tell. I can tell what happened.
Ben Harbor.
And so, what I want to help us with, and anybody listening, is the other parent can do a whole lot to smooth those relationships over.
Facts.
Just keeping it a buck. Kiana was being petty towards him. Just like, because her son wanted to be around Danny. Her son was wondering when we going back to Danny's house. Her son, so he's acting like this, and she's poking at the bear, making him feel guilty or making him feel some type of way about, how his son want to go see this other man. So he's building up this anger and animosity towards me, and I have no idea why he's doing it. I'm just thinking it must be he want Kiana back or something. I'm not knowing Kiana's playing a role in this. And we on here, and I done told her, so it ain't like I'm spitting nothing that she gonna hear and be like, oh, straight up, how you feel? No, we had this conversation, and I was like, this is what's wrong with him. You done sent this man a whole video of your kid crying about coming to see me. It's like, why we grown? Come on now. That's why he mad. Shoot, I mean, I may not be mad to the point where I want to go do something to the other cat, but I wouldn't like that either.
Right.
Yeah, don't send me my son is
reaching for another nigga.
You hit me?
So, right. No, for real.
So dude done built up this wall now, and he in this cage, and he decided whenever he saw me, he wanted to do something. And I'm wondering why. Then he finally got a chance.
Okay.
I ain't never had a problem out of him since.
That's enough said.
Yeah, never.
They say that. Take one time.
Yeah, it was about 2 years ago. So I ain't had a problem.
It'd be a problem like that because, our egos, the male ego is fragile. It really is.
No question.
And if we, you know what I'm saying? Like he got his own processes. The guy, he got his own life. He made, how he is the culmination of how he was raised and his experiences of life. You know what I'm saying? So he got his process, you got yours, and adding that fuel to the fire. You know what I'm like? So many folks have lost their lives over stuff like that because in the moment, the pride, it's like that pride is so strong, bro. Sometimes it'll take over you. Like you'll lose your life for something you can just shut up and turn around and walk away from.
Just
You know what
had
I'm saying?
conversation with her son before we dropped him off, bro. Once again, you just trying to give all these life lessons because this boy about to be off and you about to be growing into a young man. And I'm telling her, dude, I don't even own a firearm simply because I don't know what day I might be on that. You know what day the stuff that the buttons might get pushed and the wrong person might and try to say the wrong stuff. And
I have to Will Smith a nigga.
Yeah, I'm saying like I don't know, dog. So I'm like, you don't know, man. So you have to be able to kind of harness who you are and what you're going through and what you're dealing with, and know that this is the time that I don't really need to be in the space of other folks, and just sit up and understand what it is you're capable of based on what you're dealing with. So anyway, back to that last part because I remember, Misha.
Okay.
About why would we decide won't even be a part of it.
Right.
Y'all.
Early on in my fatherhood, during my immature days, I had my first child at 22. Unfortunately, he's 24. He's a county commissioner and college student and doing well. But I would allow the stuff that we were just talking about. I would allow for whatever Mom Dukes is putting me through to push me away. So there are times where, since it's going like this and since it's so hard, it's so difficult, man, I'm just about to bounce for a few weeks or whatever. It'll be 2 weeks one time, and then y'all get along for 10 days, and next time y'all have another spat. Now it's 3 weeks. Yeah, so all of a sudden you back because you don't want the drama, you don't want the smoke. But at the end of the day, once again, the way I started this conversation now is you don't get them years back. You don't get any of that time back. So if I could do it differently, I would have just said, give me the smoke long as I get my kid.
Yeah.
Now, I don't care about the drama long as I get my kid. Now, I'm going to still try to dance around the drama and still try to be the peacemaker, still try to get along. But at the end of the day, it's about trying to be in this kid's life. Now, you don't know the laws back then at 22, 23. I'm not sure about what I need to do to file a motion or get a lawyer. Or now I'm so well versed in that, man. Don't nobody even want this with me. like now, shoot, I went through my divorce, and everything I needed, every way I needed for that to end, went the way I needed for it to end, because I understood the process then. But there's no real excuse for people deciding I'm just not gonna be there.
No, it's just not but it is as simple as the woman. If it's her fault or not, I'm not even blaming you. I'm saying those dudes that do step off like that, it's y'all. It's because
I think sometimes it could be, and then sometimes it's the chick that they're with that feel away and encourages it.
That chick, yeah, because like that stuff, like it's so like peace for men is so underestimated and so misunderstood. Like that, y'all don't get it. Well, I don't think you get it. I don't think a lot of women get it because it's almost a requirement. So it's like if you rah-rah, even if he rah-rah, he don't necessarily want the rah-rah from his girl, but he get it. And if you're bitter and you get the custody of them kids, it's a horrible combination.
Okay, true. But I can't help that your woman feel a certain type of way for things that happened before her.
Right.
That's a her issue, not a me issue. Especially if I don't give off the vibe that I still want you.
You're
If
right.
I'm married in a whole nother universe of the world, then that like this is the
It shouldn't be no
responsibility
problem.
that he placed upon whatever that's going on. So for you to just be like, oh well, like, and not only that, when your kids see those other kids that he's participating in their life, that shit is detrimental. Social
Definitely.
media is so open to shit. Like that really does stuff to these children. And for them to already not care about them being in your life, and then they see what you're doing with these, like, it's just time for some people to grow up. Um, it's time for some guys to just be like, it is what it is. This is what I created. This is what I have to do. Because at a certain point, you don't even have to pay for them no more.
A
You feel
lot
what
of
I'm saying?
times that's it's still the man or the woman, the man and the woman. It's oftentimes, even if I don't want you no more, I still want to hurt you, and I feel like being like this is hurting you. And if that means that's you keeping the kids away, or if that means that's him trying not to see the kids, y'all generally only doing that to try to stab at the other one. You
That's the
ain't doing
only reason.
you ain't doing it because you think this is the best thing for the kid. You ain't doing it because you think it's the best thing for you. You doing it because you know that that's gonna tick off this person.
Plain and simple.
Yeah, and that's jacked up to do. Me and Tracy had our stretch where that was going on, and I was posting about it. I was posting free my kids.
You was.
Yeah,
I liked it
yeah.
often.
and,
Love
and we,
Tracy, but it is what it is.
it is what it is, man. And it is what it is. And I was posting it. And right now, me and her have the best relationship we've ever had since we separated in 2016. Divorce didn't even go through till like 2019 because we had to file multiple times. That's how jacked up the situation was. But the past 3 years been turmoil. Like it's been a fight, a give and take. The only problem is, well, I won't say the problem. The best part about it is we walked out of that courtroom with joint custody. So really, this fight go in soon because you ain't gonna have no bullets to fight with. Because now they're over here half the time and they getting to know me for themselves. So now you ain't gonna be able to say no stuff. It done got to the point where you can't say no stuff. So I guess, at the end of the day, whatever the reasons were, we've rectified it, we fixed it. So now we are both tag team partners and getting the best for our kids. So I'm proud of that. I'm glad because of that. However, the reason it was the way it was because you wanted to poke at me.
That's usually all it takes. And I know it's not necessarily, it shouldn't happen, right? But nor should a woman who won't get a simple conversation daily, all they want to do is smash. It's not right for her to go find somebody to just text and talk about everyday stuff. But that happens, you know what I'm saying? And the reason it's happening is because she's lacking it at the crib. It's not fair, it's not cool, it's wrong, all the above. Same if a guy did it, it's wrong. But that's why that stuff happens. So like when the daddies, in most cases, it's clearly not all. It's just some really, really dumb men out there. Really, really dumb. But a lot of times it's because, it's how Danny was saying, like they keep poking. They know this is what's going to, affect you. I remember during my divorce, we had a really, really ugly period. That's I'll be trying to just say it like that. It was really ugly. And like nothing else would work. Nothing would bother me. Nothing could turn my head except for little Emery and Nate. You know what I'm saying? And at first, I couldn't not go to 10. Like I'm going straight there every single time, and I lose. Like I lose the overall. I lose the war.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? And then it was hard because I realized that's what was happening, and I couldn't stop myself in the moment. I still knew if I go to 10, I'm losing.
Every time, dog.
Yeah, every time.
Every single time.
Every time, G.
I knew whenever we had an exchange and we disagreed, that was my anus.
Yeah, that's it.
I was like, there it is. Well, I might as well get ready for, this before the court order. So I was like, I might as well get ready for
Okay.
a month away from him.
Yeah. I know, man. That's what I'm saying. It's so hard it is. But then finally, I was able to really, really, just kind of hone in. And I don't know. I started praying more to be realistic, because as young, if you're a Christian and you're younger, we don't really practice what we're supposed to practice unless there's some kind of, something wrong going on, something bad going on. Then we want to do extra. But we really supposed to be just, doing something, regularly. But I picked up. I'm like, Lord, listen here now. Listen, I need something. You got to do something. Like change me, change her, give me some different tricks. Like, cause she's controlling me.
Mm-hmm.
She has full control. Boy, you mentioned Emery or Nathaniel. That is it. I'm gone. I'm going.
You knew the button to push.
And you pushed it.
To get me where you can now close the door on me.
Yeah, yes. And that's what I was afraid of.
Yeah.
That was it.
Hey man, before you even go any further, I haven't talked to you this long and listened to you talk.
Yeah.
Man, how often do you hear you sound like your daddy, man?
All the time. Like all of it.
God,
I get it, bro. I know. It's everybody who knew him and hear me, they be like, "Nah," like, bro, yeah, you your daddy.
Yes, sir.
And sometimes in the comments, you'll see them say, "You better preach, Emery. Emery preaching tonight." Like they
I give
come
you a
with it
little
all the
bit.
time.
I'm gonna need that cash app for the offering, though, amen. Y'all can send that.
Say, just open it up, open it up.
Get that young baby.
Yeah. But no, man, it was very hard for a long time, and I failed. I failed every time. I'm like, and then I caught it because I'm like, because I have my kids, like she actually pays me child support. So I was gonna lose that though. I was gonna lose it all by overreacting. You know what I'm saying? And it was like I know people was telling me, and I knew that was her game plan in that moment. And and I feel like I don't have control over myself, really. Like I can't stop myself from doing this, and I couldn't for a good while because there's something about that space. They really ought to just make something happen, and then in 6 months y'all come back and let's talk about the real how it's gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Because that period, everybody's ugly right there, man. I don't know. Yeah, that's just whatever. What up, Street?
So, do y'all feel that stepmothers have it easier than stepfathers?
Dang. That's good though.
Thank you.
I really like it. That's a great question. That's a great talking piece right there. I'll chime in first since
actually let me chime in first because this been on me. Okay,
go for it.
So I feel like it's easy for a woman when it comes to the son. So if the man got boys, I think it's a little bit easier. But it's harder for her if he got daughters. Because she feels, or the daughter may feel like the new wife is the competition. And I feel like it's reversed when it's the woman with the man. You feel what I'm saying? And like she come like the boy don't receive the man because the boy been running it. So now he got to answer to somebody else that's not his father. So he's gonna give the shit, to the man, but the daughter might be all cool with him and like, all right, now she's daddy's girl, if you will, that she never had or so that's what I came up with.
All that. I like all that. It's crazy because even as an educator, you have so many children who live in single parent homes. So, and when we say single parent homes, 98% of those are
single moms.
So, when I'm coaching or teaching, this is the first time you've had a man in your face. This is the first time you've consistently had to deal with orders and directives and in this type of environment where you got to do what he says because you've always only seen males as equals.
Mm-hmm.
You know, any boyfriend she bring over there, that's just a homeboy to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this ain't the father figure.
Right.
Oh, because I'm the man of this house. Like you said, yeah? like you know, I'm the man of this house. So that ain't what's in here. That's just a homeboy, my mama friend.
Yeah.
That's how that go. And then when, like, for instance, Kamisha, like this before I established myself here as an educator and stuff, and as a male figure who, you know, commands and demands a certain level of respect. But Kamisha, you could walk in my classroom probably 15 years ago and get far more respect than I could, because, and that's all they've been used to. So when they see a woman come in there and say, "Hey, y'all sit down," they will stop, turn around, look at you, and then find that seat. Like, I don't know who it is, but it's a grown woman.
Mm-hmm.
I might now in 10 seconds, I might still pop off in a minute. But initially,
I'm gonna be quiet.
Your presence can get the attention of everybody in there because everybody got a mama at home. But everybody don't have a daddy, so it's a little more difficult for us to gain that. In one as a coach and as a teacher, I had to establish that. Now it's there. So anyway, back to what you were saying about the stepmom. So I agree with a lot of what you were saying. Probably everything you said, I'd have a level of agreeing with everything you were saying. I do believe, especially that girl thing. You know, I got daughters. I got a wife. I'm fortunate that my wife is such an outgoing, friendly, wide open personality. She built the relationship with my daughters before they even had a chance to judge her in any kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they already was in love with her before they even knew what kind of walk Kiana and I was really on.
Mm.
Because they walk in the house and Kiana smile lights up and she's, "Hey girl, I like that. I like your hair. Look at that shirt. Look, Minnie Mouse." And this is like, so it broke down any barrier that they even attempted to build. So it got to the point where I'm in a car with them, and you know, you feeling them out, asking little questions, just like, "Oh, what you think about Kiana?" "Oh, I love Kiana. And I'm like, "I don't even hear nothing else that you're saying. I heard I love Kiana."
That was enough.
That's good enough. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, so so but here's the one little drawback. She is apprehensive of coming down on them because of their mother.
Mm-hmm.
So she does tiptoe when it's time to say,
I see.
"Yeah, you know, clean that room. Y'all too loud. Turn that TV down." What, like that type of stuff she wants me to do. And I'm telling her, "You the mother here."
Yeah, you got to establish your own presence.
But that's funny though, because that's really simple. You feel what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, that's not nothing like, "Hey girls, turn the TV down." You know, "Hey girls, y'all roughhousing a little too loud." You know, like, to me, I don't know. That just seems really for her to be so against it. It just seems so small,
It seems small,
but
and
it's
maybe,
major for her.
yeah, and then it may be you haven't had the experience, huh?
No,
Like,
let me tell you my rule. I don't do step kids.
well, at this point, you and your husband, y'all 2 decades in, so
Right. I married a guy that didn't have kids. Like,
yeah,
that was my whole, you know what I'm saying? So if I'm gonna deal with some baby mom drama, it's gonna be my drama that I'm giving myself. So, so no, but I guess looking at it, I don't know. I just feel like as a mom, I don't feel like that would be
challenging.
that hard. I get why she feels that way. Don't get me wrong. I understand it totally.
And I'm not saying I agree with it or disagree with it. I'm just saying this is how she
How it
came
is.
initially. You know, it's gotten better because we've had our sit downs, we've had our situations where it's like, look, if you can't establish this, because look what we were just talking about.
Mhm.
your husband.
Mhm.
Not establish that because you were around him really, and it kind of got a little, it got to the point where you understood why you needed to change the game a little bit. So she just Kiana just walked in. Actually, I'm on this little. You know what I'm on?
Yeah, you told me about it.
Oh, okay.
Tell her I said what up.
Emery said, "What up?"
Hey, Em.
Yeah, hold on. She's swinging around this way. I guess I don't know if she can make it. Let's too
You
close.
don't do rags,
Bonnets.
bonnets, and can. I just snatched mine out before the thing. What's up, though?
Hi.
Everybody,
How are
How
you?
you doing?
good. Just got off work.
Kamisha, Kiana, Kamisha. But knowing Kamisha, we just established that it's been 30.
Oh,
Yeah, whatever.
I hope she was talking to you.
Yeah, whatever.
So I'm gonna address a couple questions. A couple comments. So Street says, so question, do you think a lot of people are looking for the thumbs up, so to say, from the parent that they are the closest to?
Yes.
Do we think kids are?
People. Because the next comment says he's talking about himself. So I think he just means anybody.
Because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the time, I hate when he do this. A lot of the time,
I feel like I'm lacking.
I feel like I'm lacking as a dad just because I don't have my father here to help me and guide me through the shit that I be dealing with.
Yeah. I feel like everybody longs for that voice. If you had it and lost it, or if you've never had it, you want something to cling to. You want them to appreciate you. You want them to be like, you know what, Street, or whatever your real name is, whatever, you know what, Street, that's perfect. Like, you did that. Like, you really killed that. Like, I can see why you did what you was doing. I wouldn't have done it that way, but it worked out, man. I really see that. Well, stuff like that. I think that's another form of approval.
Mm-hmm.
I think for girls is a little different, the approval piece, but for guys in this instance, for parenting, I do see that as a thing. Like, you want the approval of, if your daddy was there, cool. If it was mama, that's who you want. You want to hear in your mind them be like, oh, you know what?
Acknowledgement, encouragement.
That was good.
I get it.
I think that's a real thing.
But I also think that sometimes, like, if you don't have that, you do have to figure out a way to reassure yourself. You gotta join some groups, some father groups, single father groups, support groups, for y'all to boost each other up or whatever. But if that's what you need, like, honestly, if that's what you need for you to just continue, because as a mom, we don't always get told kudos, good job either. Like, honestly, we don't. Sometimes I just be wanting to throw a kid out the window, but then I'm gonna go to jail and I don't really want to go to jail. So I just find different ways of handling it. But I be needing that. Hey, yo, I be wanting it from my kids, and I know that I'm not gonna get it from my kids because they don't know what it is that I've really put in. And I think
I don't understand the what comes with,
for sure,
being complimentary and being able to show that side of emotion and stuff like that. What you got, a boy and a girl?
I got 2 boys and a girl.
Okay, so yeah, generally it'll take for them to get our age before they decide I need
to get it.
Hours,
My daughter gets it because she's a mother.
Aha.
My daughter gets it. My boys, they just be like, yo, ma, at least they're going through it. I ain't having no kids, and okay, good, cool. That's enough. So she definitely be like, ma, I don't know how you dealt with me, girl. Me either.
Mm-hmm.
But we still cool. I'm happy you moved out.
Right.
Street said nowadays fathers are really treated like shit. So with the whole world trying to shit on you, sometimes you need to push that ayo, you doing right, just to keep you going. A lot of people don't have that. We here for you, bro. Get that shit. You doing it.
Because he's right though. A lot of people really don't.
I agree.
And it does suck. Because it will help you. Like that little, encouragement. I don't even think most of us understand how big words of affirmation is for us.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? Like that, at a boy, that works.
Thank you goes a long way to get the next type of behavior that will warrant another thank you. Well, thank you all the time. I'm sorry.
Genuine. I'm sorry.
Dude, you can't even finish being mad when somebody
get a real sorry.
When somebody comes to you the right way and says, you know what, I messed up. I shouldn't have did that, and I'm so sorry. Now, what can you say after that?
You know what?
I accept that.
You dang that just got to give him a hug and say it's all right.
Yeah.
Facts.
Let's move on.
Yeah. That's how it should be. I know it's been a little tough in this area. Like, I remember for me going through the divorce process and trying to make sure that, like, I had to, being able to put yourself to the side. Like, I feel like we really need to give it some time before the permanent decisions are made. Because too often the permanent decisions for child rearing happens in the ugliest moments. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if we just be realistic, that's just, and it usually is never how it should go. Because we're in the moment and we just make the best of whatever. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, 90% of kids go with the mom. This is how it goes. So, and then the man is charged with so much child support based off how much he make, not much how much he got to spend, not how much his bills are. You know what I'm saying?
None of that matters.
None of it matters. We had a whole conversation about that last week, and
none of that matters.
It just doesn't, because it's not set up for the child. It's not about child first.
It ain't nothing close.
It's So how I was in my ugliness and during that period of being petty and petty back and petty first, I had to, stop myself. Like, man, like what's best for these kids though? Like, because I'm not gonna be this mad forever. I'm not even gonna hold this grudge with this lady. I'm not gonna be petty like that. I don't want a relationship like that.
Mm-hmm.
So now, what's the next best thing? Like, how can this work? So I had to go first. I had to chill out first. I had to be getting stabbed and just be like, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And eventually it just ended up working. But that was beat into me by my daddy. That mindset of you got to go first. The stronger got to take more. That was literally beat into me. So if it's not beat into you, then is she tripping you out? You know what I'm saying? Like if she tripping, you gone. Like, you know what? It's just better to not even deal with her because I'm either hitting her or we gonna go to jail, fighting or whatever, or it can go worse. Somebody can get killed. It can just be ugly because those moments, man, them moments, and they happen so quick. Like in the moment, I be hearing about so many of these DV cases from people from back home and just abroad that we hear about. And if you've ever been in any of those types of situations, it can just like in a second, it can just go so ugly.
I'm grateful for being able to walk away from a couple of those situations in my early years.
Same, bro.
Going through stuff that was getting ugly, that was on the brink of the ugliest, and some kind of way, things got a chance to get separated, and we both walked away fine. And I'm like, golly, boy, I was crazy. I'm glad I wasn't. I'm glad she wasn't as crazy as I was, because we would have been all up the block somewhere, dragging each other.
Yeah.
So, like now, I'll run like a mug. Like call me a sissy.
I'm out.
And everything else, I'm out of here.
Bro, stuff has changed. Stuff has just changed. Like that's not a priority. I don't need to prove I'm tough. I don't need to show you that you can't talk to me and I'm good. I gotta go home. Like that's I gotta make it home.
Yeah.
So do y'all feel like women allow their children to call their boyfriends daddy too soon?
Ooh-wee. Gosh. I stopped the girl from doing that.
So you felt it was too soon?
Yeah, don't call me daddy if you have a daddy in your life. And me and your mama ain't even all the way there. It's just you're kind of around because you're little. It's not so much that we really all the way there. You know what I'm saying? I had to stop. No, and it was cute because I love, I'm a sucker for the little girl. Ooh, sucker. But I was like, nah, that's too far. That's too fast. That word should mean something more than there's the first guy around that's showing me some genuine concern.
I haven't oh man. Well, I haven't had that situation in my own life, but I mean, as far as my own home, but I have, once again, like I told y'all before, my son who moved to Texas, I'm listening to him on the phone talking to his mama, talking about where daddy at. You talk about of the stomach and a shaking of the chest, and I ain't stop him or nothing like that because this man lives at the house where my son lives, but to hear it, to hear it, you almost feel like, well, shoot, you need to call me something different. I can't share this with him. I need to be father or something.
Man,
God of all gods, Zeus,
Big Daddy, something.
Like, yeah, I gotta be something.
Nigga, you call me Tay Tay or something, don't
Right, DJ or something.
Dog, I'm telling you, I wasn't feeling it, but I understood. Once again, he was my fourth. I got 4 kids, so I know that there's probably another man at that house where my other 3 are. So I'm probably going to be with somebody who has kids at that point. Right. If I got kids, I end up with 8 biological. But if I got 4 kids at 28, I'm probably not gonna find some chick who ain't got no kids
at this point, right?
Build a family with me. I'm already down the line on that. So it's like, I remember being in college and probably 3 or 4 different times kicking it with somebody and letting them know how many kids I had, and that shit ended the next day. So, like you became hard to reach out to or get in touch with.
The next, is it a limit to how many kids the chick can have that you'll mess with?
Well, I'm married now, so
I'm just saying, like,
no. But if you got a bunch of toddlers, because some of them kids could be your kids' age and stuff like that. So, kids that's out the house and all that, and ain't really a burden on what you got going on. But if you got 6 kids at the crib that's all 12 and under, then I don't like no more. I ain't doing that one.
He done the Kevin
Hart. On that. So I dated a girl with 4 kids. She had 4. That was she was
lost each other.
Is everybody there?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah. I think he froze.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I dated a chick with 4 kids.
Okay, there you go.
She was married, and it just ended up not working.
Wait, she was married?
Yeah, and had 4.
She got the 4 kids from the marriage.
Baby daddy, she got 4 kids was through marriage. She's not no more.
Was married with the 4 kids when it didn't work out for you.
Oh yeah, no, it wouldn't. Clearly, wouldn't have worked.
All right.
Yeah, no, I meant she was married, so all of her kids were from the same guy.
Yeah.
But they didn't work, so whatever. A couple years after her stuff was done, a year or so after my stuff was done, we tried it, whatever. The issue wasn't the kids though, so that was good. I was shocked about that, and they were really, I kind of pride myself on being a kid's man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, kids like me, I love kids. So I've never really been worried about if the kids are gonna like me.
Me either.
You know, I've never really been, or like accept me, you know, however they stuff is, because I'm just gonna be me, and you're gonna love me. That's just how it's gonna go.
And let me because I feel the same way, and I respect that. I actually love knowing men who love kids. So let me say this though. I've been a father, and I'm talking about a co-parent father or a single parent father or a child support father for 24 years. I got a 5-year-old too, you know, in the midst of all that. So taking on the responsibility of another handful of toddlers is not in the cards.
Mm.
And it ain't got nothing to do with how I feel about kids or how they feel about me. It's just, it's time for me to be grown a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
On everything, yeah. No, I couldn't date anybody now with a toddler.
I've
There's
been,
no.
I got 24-year-old, 22-year-old, two 19-year-olds, and then 4 more minors. So I got 4 that have graduated, 4 more minors, and homegirl, if you got 3, 4, 5 minors, I just ain't the one. I'm
I don't want
exhausted.
no minors. I want some kids that can take care of themselves.
I'm exhausted, man.
Yeah, man, I feel you. My
Yeah,
son is 14, but he can cook.
Hey, I've been paying until recently, until my 2 19-year-olds graduated, like not this past year, but the year before, class of 2021. I've been paying anywhere from $400 to $700 in child support for the past 20 years. So I got some others off the books.
Yeah,
I got joint. I'm paying child support for 1 kid right now. I ain't taking on nobody else.
trying to tell you, bro. I'm trying to tell you. That's what.
um.
Uh,
So
I got one 9-year-old bonus son left here at this house, and then my kids, my 4 minors that I hear, you know, back and forth.
Yeah.
I remember hearing a song from Life. Um, and he was basically saying that, when she had his child, it was a little bit more of attention, a little bit more of um just a little bit more of everything for his biological child versus his stepchild. Is that something that happens, subconsciously, or is that just what it is?
Subconsciously, organically, we can talk that talk. I think I feel like, again, I teach and coach and stuff. I love all these kids. I have them in my house, feed them, take them places. I love them probably to the depths of how much I can love them.
Mm.
A central part of you is going to probably get a little more, even if you don't notice it. Just because this is connected directly to you. Like, this is your blood. This looks just like you. This walks
Hmm.
like you, talks just like you. It's just hard to be able to say, I know I treat my bonus son the same way I treat my biological son. I don't even think I could look myself in the mirror and lie to myself like that. But I know I treat that bonus son as good as I could possibly treat him, though. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
I remember
That's
me and my
understandable.
husband had an argument. Not even an argument, honestly. It was more of a discussion. And he was just way easier on the baby than he was on my oldest. Um, and he ended up, like, once we brought it to his attention, ended up going to my oldest, like, I noticed that, this and that happened, but you know, it's not that I don't love you, it's just that's my son, and I think it's kind of hard for a guy that's been in a child's life all his life to say those words, like, but that's my son, because naturally he gonna be like, well, what the hell am I,
Mm-hmm.
so I think that's hard for guys,
It is.
you know
Absolutely.
that has to be hard.
It is. Because, like, for instance, I ain't never going to do something consciously, like for instance, my 12-year-old and my 9-year-old bonus son, they like this. They buddies. They road dogs. I ain't taking him nowhere and not taking my bonus son. I ain't buying my son nothing and not buying my bonus son. I ain't vouching for him to be a part of no team when not my bonus son. But just because I know consciously I ain't doing nothing, don't mean that subconsciously there's not a great attachment that's a little different. Other people can obviously visualize.
Mm-hmm. I kind of ask those questions because I want females to look at the situation from what it is. I don't want you to take information from your girl, well, I wouldn't let him do this with mine, well, you good for this or that. It's like, if you got a guy that's there, that's willing to stand by you and help you through it, it's a little bit that you're going to have to give. If he's not mistreating your kid, if he's not beating your kid, or, because at some point, if you allow your kid to continue to do what they're doing, they're going to end up whooping your ass. Then you're going to be hollering for your dude to come and save you.
Yeah, that the hand of disciplinarian is typically the dad's role anyway. Now, if he's not there or whatever, that's just typically how it goes. It's not in all cases. But if you're not allowing that man to come in and set his boundaries, so like, this is why it's this is extremely important that the roles of your house are clearly defined beforehand. Like, I'm more traditional than I am modern. Way more. Okay, I'm opening all the doors. Huh?
You might get popped in the mouth if shit ain't right over here.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Like I'm that. So, but at the same, so there are certain rules and guidelines that come with being with me. You know what I'm saying? And we need to understand them from the gate, like whose role is what. You know what I'm saying? And have the hard conversation, because for some, it's extremely hard to talk about being submissive, right? Or to talk about what you won't take. Like that's some of the conversations, they'll just show you how far you are along in your walk, if you're even taking a walk, which you should be. But if it's not established in the beginning, then when things come up, that's when you'll have more hardship, because you haven't set those boundaries. Like, this is how this should be. This is what we're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to follow me, or if we're just going to do 50-50, there's relationships for however you get down. I'm not even here to judge that. I'm just saying, for me, I'm old school in a lot of ways. You know what I'm saying? But those, a lot of the old school characteristics that women really still appreciate and admire are what comes easy for me. So it makes the trade-off, pretty easy. Like, I don't get the women who want to be my equal. They don't come to me.
No.
They're not even attracted to how I get down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's not even a thing, gratefully, or like I've had it to where a few of them are that way, but they really want to be women.
They think they are that way because
but they
haven't been in the presence of a man who almost, I won't say forces them, but it kind of allows them to be their quintessential natural,
their true self. Yeah. I've had a feminist was just like, if my girls ever found out how I am over you, they gonna kick me out the group. they go kick me out. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, just like, get over this. We'll stop playing then. You mad at something then, because you love how I get down. I'm old. I am old. Like give me a hug and a kiss when we walk in the door. Oh, like, it ain't no, hey babe. No, you finna come embrace me when I'm coming in the door. I'm that kind of old school.
You needy.
Damn. Maybe you gonna give me my kiss. What? Get up. Meet me at the door, boo. Smack that butt when you turn around. I'm one of them, no. But a bunch of stuff come with that. You know what I'm saying? So it's normally a pretty decent trade-off, but you do have to still have those conversations in the beginning, Because if you don't have them laid out, then it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a continual fight.
What you ain't gonna do, what you're not gonna be able to do, is change them into who you want them to become after y'all decided that we gonna go for the long haul. You know,
Right.
after I propose, now I'm about to start trying to twist your. Now, like you say, these conversations need to happen on the front end, so I can know what I'm getting myself into, and you also can know the same thing.
Right.
Then we can determine, are we ready to take this ride together?
Yes, sir. Because you can be the best woman, but if you want kids, we stopping this after this conversation. That's it.
Yeah, it's
Like
over.
real talk. Real talk.
It's over.
I do feel like individuals should be given the choice, versus being forced into doing whatever. Because now, if I'm married to you, you're gonna
You
have
stuck.
to, right? Like, and it's gonna take a lot of work to get out of it when you knew that
Yeah,
this was going on prior and you just didn't call it out for what it was. So
I gotta,
Yeah.
I gotta accept who this is. Like who, not accept. I need to love and like enough of who you already
Who
are.
you are. Yes.
And
Bro, that is my thing. Nigga, are you sure we had this conversation? Because
oh no.
that is my thing, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to change nothing. I'm not trying to complain about what you got going on. I just want to see, do I like you? How
Yeah.
you are.
If you as you are, as it stands, are enough for me, then we can move on. And
And grow.
if things get better, then that's just a bonus.
Yeah.
But I can't
Yeah.
expect to get better. Like
Right.
because I know who you are. You've shown me that for the past 2 years or 3 years. I know exactly who you are, and that's good enough for me. If it
Yeah.
ain't good enough, then you don't need to do this thinking, oh, it's gonna get better. I'm gonna fall in love eventually. Or nah, you can't be sitting up trying to predict no shit about no future. You
Because you
need,
can't do it.
yeah, you need to be all right.
so is it just me that feel like, okay, this may be jumping off, but I gotta get this off. I heard a conversation of a chick saying that her husband didn't marry for love. Now I was a little mind fucked because I don't know if I can look at you and just be like, I can live with you for the rest of my life because we're gonna build an empire. Like, again, I don't even know if I like you. I don't even know if we're compatible enough to build an empire. Like, it's a thing to get married for money. I mean, not in the sense of I know that because you're looking at me like, duh, I know
All
that,
right.
Yeah.
but not in a sense of marrying into money, but marrying thinking that y'all gonna build together.
Well, I can say this. You don't have to love everybody who you work with. They have a working relationship.
You're
They
right.
have redefined what it means to have a working relationship. And I just know that you don't have to like everybody you work with. You can still get great work done and not like the people.
Now I can't marry nobody
Me neither.
me, but I understand exactly what I'm saying, and I
Yeah.
understand what you're asking. Absolutely, I know it to happen. I've seen it happen. I've unfortunately not understood it from my own perspective because I'm just a I ain't no day at the beach if I ain't getting along with you.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
So yeah,
Facts.
I'm gonna run you up out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what kind of working we doing and what we building and how much
Yeah.
we it's
Mm.
I will almost be like, you can take all this shit.
And go. Cause I don't
Yeah,
like you. You was on my nerve 3 times over.
you can take all this shit. Everything I thought that was good about this situation, you can have all that shit because you are not easy to deal with. I can't walk in this house after these long days of dealing with other people's kids and refereeing damn basketball games. I'm tired. I need a shower. I need a meal, and I got to deal with a motherfucker who mad at me for being gone all day. Shit,
Ooh. Oh,
no.
That's so
boy, that
funny
just
to
brought
me.
up some harsh, ugly.
That's so funny to me.
Yeah,
God.
I don't care what. You could have been pulling in 450,000 a year. you can go and take all 450. I grind myself out and
I
be
figured
I'm
out.
cool. Yeah, I'm cool. I'm not that way, but that does happen a lot more. There's a bunch of people even getting having polygamous marriages for that reason. They're getting together for the business aspect of it, living situation, just everything that's more tangible, not love. Now, in my honest opinion, love ain't enough no more though.
no. Now I believe that. I
Yeah, but you
definitely,
gotta have it a little
You
bit.
do have
Like
to
you
have
gotta
it.
have
Yeah,
it.
I do think you have to have it.
but
But
it
if
can't
you're
be all.
marrying because I just love him, I'm married for love. I think anybody marrying in their 20s is marrying for love.
Right. You don't know
And
no better.
then
It definitely got to be deeper than love.
if you look at it, the marriages don't work. Most of them, they just don't. Because we young and we really don't know nothing, and we think
No,
you think
we
about
we
how stupid you
we
was.
fall what we falling in love with. Usually,
Just the nostalgia of her sex. She around. She really liked me back. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying?
That
Silly,
means
stupid stuff.
we love each other.
Right. But that was enough then. You know what I'm saying? You just don't know, man. But if you can't like you. We have this little joke. It's like you can't be full of potential. You're gonna have to be potentied before I get to you.
Yeah, ain't no nah.
I'm too old to be working like that. Like we're not doing that.
And I think that's where and me and Tracy had this conversation. I think that it was always what it could be. So we always had those feelings and those thoughts, and and we looked at the educational background and the professional aspirations and the fact that her first kids were my kids, so it's like I ain't got to deal with that extra stuff on that other end either. So just all these
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Right. Fire sparks.
yeah, I'm looking for a different word. Substantial and what's the opposite? I'm struggling. Yeah. So anyway, the so it's those things that mean a lot that shouldn't, and versus the things that should mean everything. So we
And
were
then, yeah.
we're taking all those things that we are placing on a pedestal. Although these really are things that are
Don't
small.
mean nothing. Yep.
Yeah, small crumbs to a giant, and
Yeah.
we were hoping those things improve.
Grew. But it's like people still don't realize that, potential shit fall through all the time.
Facts. Even if
You
it has
know?
good potential, it's not enough.
Right. Even if it's if the odds
Yeah.
are super great, it's a chance that can be, swept from under you and now you at zero. So for you to lead off of potential, I just feel like you're setting yourself up.
We know of some number one players in the nation who ain't never make an all-star team.
Jesus.
But they
I
potential
love the
there.
analogy. I love the analogy.
It's there.
Yeah. Fact
So
Look
though.
at half potential.
That marriage, so Street says marriage is a trap, to be honest. It's literally a business. And when you really think about it, that is not
it
wrong.
is. It is. You're right.
It's horrible because, like, it's basically a contract where the extra clauses are just assumed and not written down. Like in your marriage certificate, all the stuff you got to sign, you don't sign something that say if y'all split, she get half.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But that's what happens in a lot of cases, or they get a big chunk or whatever. Like you have to still pay them type of thing. If I feel like if that stuff is said up front, folks would at least second guess or not be so quick to just let's go to Vegas.
They
I
know
think
that's
if
a
you
damn.
have,
They know that's a option that they could go through.
but I'm no, they know it if they think about it. Just like folks who have a bunch of kids know that having sex without protection will get you kids, but you still do it. You know what I'm saying? It's just not in your mind at the moment. You just like I'm horny, she cold, I want it type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like it's definitely there, and you definitely can know the consequences. But if it's not said to you or like in the moment, like something needs to jar you, especially about this marriage. Because like I say, the back end of it, like okay, if y'all have kids, you got to split it, or like if you have property, you got to sell it. Like now you got to change your focus to work together. Y'all hate each other.
Hey, My
But you
divorce,
gotta
my divorce was harder than my marriage.
exactly. That's my point. Because that if we know the ins and like if we get the honest up front, like before you say I do, if it doesn't work, this is what's likely to happen.
You ain't supposed to. That's the lesson that you're supposed to learn. So you got to
Oh,
walk through it not knowing what's coming out on the other side. You will see it when you get there.
I think that's foolish because everything else you get a warning. Everything.
Motherfuckers don't listen.
Even look, but at least you done your part. Like they get warnings on Newports. Tell you,
That's
hey,
what I was
don't do this.
saying.
They're gonna take you up out of here.
They
At
still
least
smoke it and get cancer.
you can't sue me though.
True.
As if I didn't tell you. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. Like if it's understood up front, then I'm walking into it like, okay, I know. There's no question that I know.
Right.
I'm signing it. So then shut up if it don't work. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
because we don't always know how ugly this can get or how ugly she can change or how ugly he can change. You know what I'm saying? There's so many variables to it because, folks get their own lives, how they grew up, and their kids,
They
the
ain't know
fears, that they may have been touched. And then I'm such a happy-go-lucky guy, and you got kids, you wondering if I'm a pedo. And then that's kind of, I'm trying to be understanding, but I'm like, nigga, that ain't me. You know what I'm saying? So it's pissing me off. It's just a lot. But if you know this going in, you can make the better decision. That's my point.
You
I
got a
feel like
point.
you should be able to at least.
You definitely right. This was interesting. I really liked that it did it.
I know it went a different route than I was expecting.
It did, but it was super positive.
Absolutely.
It was informative. I think you guys were very open and honest about y'all feelings or y'all experiences of life. I just hope they listen because they always be wanting the guys or men to tell them what men want. But when real men talk to them, I feel like they don't really listen. So,
So on that,
yeah.
just to kind of close out where we stand on this conversation, if there's a female who may be listening who may be considering stepdaddy recruitment, whatever.
God, dog.
Yeah, they need to take into consideration how are they going to function around the discipline and the involvement of this man with their kids. What you cannot do, at least if you're gonna have a good man, what you cannot do is say, I want all of you, but then I'm gonna put shields around my children to kind of keep you from being impactful and influential in their lives as well as a disciplinarian.
Yeah, I agree.
It's gonna cost you a lot, and that's speaking from
Stepdaddy season
experience.
is in full effect.
Is it like BB Dubs? Like I'm so confused.
It might be.
You setting a new trend?
It might be. It might be. Stepmama, because if it's a stepdaddy season, it's got to be a
Gotta be a
stepmama
stepmama
season.
season.
Hello, I got a kid that's still here.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Tay, for joining us for this episode. We really appreciate it. Don't be surprised if we come back to you for something.
Facts.
Hey, I'm open. I didn't hear any of that, but I did hear the end. I heard you say, "Don't be surprised if you come back to me." I had lost y'all for a second, but
Okay.
But either way, though, this was a pleasure. I appreciate y'all reaching out to me and having a conversation with people who are level-headed and intelligent in their own right. That makes for a much better opportunity to be able to shed some light on some serious topics.
Yes, sir.
I agree, bro.
Yes,
I agree
sir.
100%.
Sure, we do. We'll be in
Yes.
contact. Definitely be in contact.
All right.
All right, sir.
Yep.
Check
Thank you
out.
again, bro.
Yeah.
That was enlightening. That was very interesting and
Yeah.
enjoyable. I liked it.
Absolutely. To be able to get another guy in the trenches, point of view standpoint. I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
He been through a lot.
has and going through. Like everybody.
Jesus Christ.
A lot. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Wrong black man.
Facts. Yeah.
My bad.
You
So,
fine.
stepdaddy season. Like you said, it's upon us. It's growing more and more.
Yeah, it's here. It is here. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I don't want it to be glorified like that.
The way Shorty did it.
Yeah, I don't want to. Everything about how she did that to me, I know she'll make, it wasn't a rape. So it wasn't like he doesn't play no role in it, of course. You know what I'm saying? But it's a role like in the same way a promiscuous teenager ends up having sex with an older man.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same, to me, it's the same level of responsibility. Like she wasn't dumb. She knew what she was doing. She knew what she was egging him, was trying to get to.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's the older one, the more experienced one, you get the bulk of the trouble. And she has videos of herself talking about how if you just want to come up real quick, have sex with an NBA player, you have a baby, instant come up. And now she's online talking about stepdaddy season and all this stuff with, oh boy, I just want to raise my son. What if they took away that $200,000 you get in a month?
By giving a son to him.
Do you still want to just raise your son? Let's just raise our son. You know what I'm saying? No, that's your meal ticket. What is that? Like $2 million? What is that? 200 times 10. Yeah, that's $2.2 million.
2.4,
Something like that. 2.4. Yeah. That's crazy. A year.
A year to just because you gave birth. Just because
To
you
a
gave
nigga
birth.
who you knew you wasn't finna be with. He was green. He be seeing your fine stuff online and you own me. Like, you own me? You all on me like this?
Jumped at it.
Of course. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? I don't want it to be glorified like just go out here and do some stuff and then just go find you somebody else. Because she even said in the video, if it doesn't work out with that guy, it's gonna work out with somebody else. That's really not how that goes.
I think
It
it just
doesn't
kind of,
just work out.
it also speaks to, as we were saying, the immaturity, of that individual. That's what's popping now. You got Nick Cannon that's had what, 8, 9 kids or whatever. So the chicks being taken care of, no one really got to do anything, and they're Instagram models. So that's the baby boomers of now. Instagram models.
I hate that. I hate where it's going. You know what I'm saying? But there's no way around it because you got to stop so many things that we're not gonna stop
At all.
for it to stop. And so it's like
Because you also can ask, why are the men so silly and not protecting themselves?
Absolutely.
Knowing that their value is so great.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's just like being thrown in to the wolves, I would say. Not to, like I say, not to relieve them of, it wasn't a rape. People was telling them. I know people was saying, bro, leave her alone.
Right.
But there'll be other fine women. Trust me.
Right.
Find her. If you can think it or not, find her than her. You know what I'm saying? They'll be on you. But he didn't listen. That moment, in the moment, it's so hard to, do right. But he should have, because now he's stuck.
Yeah.
And I wonder how it's gonna change. Because the nigga's not gonna do good in the league, if you ask me.
It's gonna be bothersome on him.
He's not good enough to be that. Like to be a longevity player. You can get a couple good years in. He may bounce around. He may bounce around a little bit, but after that money change, then what? You know what I'm saying? Are they gonna change the child support amount?
They got to.
You know what I'm saying? But
I can't give you what I ain't got. I can't give you what I ain't got.
They still charge you because that's what you're used to, or some back pay. I just don't know. The whole process is ugly, and we need to learn how to just Be more wise.
Cause it
You
is
gotta think of the angle, nigga. You not that popping to get
$10
a
is way
jail like
better than
that,
200K. $10
fam.
for some rumbas is way better than 200K for child support.
Man,
You
2 million
know,
a year.
so you see what they up to, you see what their reputation, what their repertoire is, but you want to be down. That's a very expensive ticket to be a part of a club.
It really is.
Straight up.
It is, and niggas they fall for it.
Every time. I don't know. I don't know. I rather somebody that don't nobody want. That's just the type of person I am. I don't want to have to, argue or fight, or I don't have to do none of that. Never mind the fact I'm too old at this particular point. Like, let's play rock paper scissors for my husband. Whoever win get to take him home.
Nah, I know I'm cool on that. There's too much going on.
Like it's just, yeah, like you said, it's too much going on. So for y'all to just be going through smashing, not even thinking about you.
I
Screw
know.
like, what about you? They just, and I don't even know if we can keep saying they young.
No, because at a certain point, young, you still got like, if you kill somebody at 16, you still going to jail for
It's
it.
going up.
You know what I'm saying? Young or not, so you can be young and dumb,
And dumb.
and still got to pay for the dumb stuff that you do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like just because you're young, that's not a pass. I think a lot of people really think that is, or they want it to be, or I'm human. Okay, you still got to reap what you sow. You know,
But that's
the
the little
karma, whatever you
cover
think.
that they throw. Oh, he's so young. He's just messing up because yeah, but who gonna tell him, okay, now you can get a slap on your wrist, but when you in a couple years, it ain't gonna be that easy. Like
Yeah,
it's gonna be some real deal consequences that you're gonna have to pay.
yeah. And if you don't change it now, you definitely gonna have to pay them.
It's gonna get worse. But another Tuesday in the books, brother. Mm, 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 mm.
Tuesday in the books.
Um, it's been amazing. I'm trying, y'all. Like next week gonna be tough, but I'm taking everything with me. I got to go to San Francisco Sunday. So, but
Okay.
like I said, I'm a if I got to take my break at that time, y'all, I work all
We'll
winter.
figure it out. Don't we? We gonna work it out. We got it. We gonna make this thing work. Crucial
Let's
convo,
go.
baby.
Uh,
We in
uh,
this thing.
I'm gonna figure it out, yeah. I'm gonna figure it out. So, thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Crucial Convos. It's your girl F.l.o.r.
This is I Emery.
And we'll holler at y'all next week.
Hey.